This is FX Medicine. I'm Andrew Whitfield Cook, and we're at the 2019 NHAA Centenary Herbal Conference. We're here speaking with Kerry Oakes. Kerry, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks very much.
Kerry, you've got a really interesting thing that you do, but let's first go into a little bit of your history, because it's many and varied.
Yes, I'm up to, I think, my 5th career now. So I've been a teacher, I've worked in state government, I've worked with young people on the streets, I've worked in child protection, community development, disaster management.
And there was a bit of an evolution to living off the land, wasn't there, as well?
Yes, so made transition through all of that from being a city girl to eventually living in an off-grid, self-sustainable property just west of Brisbane.
Which really interests me, because you have, now it's a solar power plant.
Yes.
Plus a gas plant.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this. I think this is so crucial to what we should be doing in the 21st century.
Yeah, so our idea was, first of all, that anything that comes onto our property should be useful.
Yep.
And then...
So I can't come on.
We'd find it useful.
Yeah.
Dig a hole?
Yes, jump in.
Yeah. But along with that was that we don't do it so much to save the planet, we do it because it's a lifestyle we want to live.
Right.
So we want to live in recognition of the land and of what it does, and part of that also was we just wanted to reduce our bills a little bit.
Yeah, your bills for the house, which your husband built.
Yes.
After his stroke.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, it took, owner-builders know this, it takes a while to build a house. Builders can do it in a couple of weeks, owner-builders take a little bit longer. It took us a little bit longer still. But yes, he slowly, bit by bit, built a geodesic dome house.
We were speaking just before and you were realising, like you've got this lifestyle, you actually love this lifestyle. Yeah. I can do more, I can subsist.
Yes.
But then where did the call for community medicine come in?
Probably I've always been interested in herbs. I've read all the herb novels, you know. I'm a geek. Yes, I've read them in paper and on electronics, so on both. So I've always been fascinated, and I've loved looking and the thought of herbs and that. After my partner had his stroke, his heart attack, and I moved out to the farm to be with him, it just was something to keep my mind active. Let's study herbal medicine, why not?
Okay.
And from that, so from that came, I wanted to set up a bit of a practice. I couldn't afford me.
Being a pensioner.
If I couldn't afford me, half of the people who lived in my area couldn't afford me. And yet, all the research, everything I knew said that these are the people who would benefit from what I could offer as a herbalist. And so I wanted to find a way to bring herbalism, and in some cases to remind some of the older population what they knew already about how plants would help their health, and give them that control back. And because my past is working with community development, I have this belief that everything that a community needs to survive and be sustainable is in the community. It's just about bringing all of that out and supporting and connecting the dots.
Well, indeed, that community has been devastated some years ago. So this is a community that's west of Brisbane, east of Toowoomba.
Yes.
And it got devastated by a flood.
2011 floods.
Got it. So can you take us through what sort of conditions you were treating? Was it mainly stress? Was there immune? What sort of things?
Well, I've only been practicing in that area for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm only new as a practitioner.
But there's lingering stress.
But I know, and there is lingering stress. It's also a rural community, and so farming community. We deal with droughts, we deal with bushfires, we deal with farm debt, we deal with animal prices, so there's that sort of stress as well. We also have a population that is on low income, so dealing with all the normal sorts of things. So I suppose probably not much different to a lot of communities, but a community that had faced a flood. That was quite a significant, and is still a talking point. Was rebuilding and recovering, continuing to go through all of those things as well.
What about toxic load?
I haven't really looked at toxic load much, but yeah, it would be out there. I guess a lot of what I'm seeing, the people I'm talking to at the moment, so there's stress, there's age-related things. So, we've got our 80-year-olds, they're ageing, those sorts of things. But we do have diabetes. We do have a lot of the lifestyle types of illnesses that are there, and very much that chronic disease load, which modern medicine is very good at finding ways to sort of manage the symptoms, but not necessarily ways of managing life.
And what about engagement with government? Because you set up this program, you obviously had to engage with them, and now it's sort of running itself, is that right?
It's kind of running itself. We've been going for 12 months. The idea is community-supported herbalism. Who are the people in the community who can help? So when I started looking at it, obviously local government is a big player, very important group of people. So I contacted the community development officer and said, look, I've got this crazy idea. How do you think it might fly? And I got an email back from her saying, yeah, look, I'd be interested to talk, let's talk some stage. And it just so happened that the following week I was at a ladies' craft group, just doing my little lady thing.
Being a nerd.
Yeah. she was there, and I said, oh, hi Lynn, I'm the person who sent you that mad email. And from there she invited me to a couple of service group things, invited me to some community groups so I could talk to people in the community. And I don't want to put in it or anything, but she's organised and helped smooth the way as far as council things go. So now I operate 3 clinics a month, one in each town once a month, and I use council properties. Or council-owned properties.
Right, and that council property is not just for consultation rooms and things like that, it's actually gardens?
The gardens is an interesting idea. Okay. I started with the idea of community gardens. Right. Let's have community herb gardens. So again, with my sustainability bit, let's grow the herbs that we will use in the clinic. Let's keep it all local.
Yep.
That's really great. We know where the herbs come from, how they've been grown, that sort of thing. So I started with the idea of let's have some community gardens, and I was talking to people, and I suddenly got this sense from people that, yeah, community gardens really great, Kerry, you're going to look after it.
Who's going to do it, yeah.
And I realised, well, from one end of my shire to the other end of my shire is about 2 hours drive. Right. I'm not going to drive from one end to the other end every day for 4 hours to water plants when I can kill cactus.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So my idea of a community garden has gone, I'm not going to set up all these little community gardens. My whole shire is going to be my community herb garden.
Wow.
So I've been recruiting local gardeners. The idea being, I have never met a gardener yet who can't find room in their garden for one more plant. So it's like, if I give you the plant, will you grow it in your garden for me?
So these are obviously people who have a knowledge of the care, sustainability of the plant, but also the safety of the plant as well.
They love plants. They love to grow plants. And it's like, yeah, look, we'll find a little corner here. So again, part of my vision is that basically we're just going to be one big medicinal garden.
I've got to say, I take my hat off. I put my hand on my heart for what you're doing. You're bringing herbal medicine back to the people who need it, who really need it in the community. You're doing incredibly great.
But I'm also bringing the community. So the people who often, if you're in low socioeconomic, you're on a pension, you're stressed, you're isolated. You feel a little bit apart from your community. I mean, how great is it to go, this medicine that I'm taking, somebody else in my community has grown for me. Like,
incredible.
That's just, I'm part of this community again because they care about me without even knowing me necessarily. So I've been looking at the different groups in the community. So if I give you a medicine, I give it to you in a little bag. That bag has been given to me by one of my local craft groups.
Wow.
A decoration on it, somebody's painted. So I don't have to buy these bags, they're given to me.
I am humbled.
To give to you.
Kerry Oakes, thank you so much for joining us on FX Medicine today. You and I will be podcasting about this. This is brilliant work.
Thank you.
This is FX Medicine. I'm Andrew Whitfield Cook.